it ended up straight enough to tuck inside that near post and even up the game. So hopefully you've had your morning coffee for you this morning. If not, this game will wake you up. As neither team's sitting back. Sometimes you get in these early games and there's kind of a feeling out period and making sure everything settles in. Both of these teams saying they're not going for that, as they have really come out here and worked the offensive side of the game so far. Well played there by the goalkeeper for Oregon as it comes up here to the near side, but Ward was unable to keep it in, and it'll be a Liverpool throw. Trying to go over the top for Walsh, but it wasn't quite strong enough there for Campbell. Into touch again. This time it'll go for GPS. Remember to stay tuned right to this YouTube network, as we will bring you all of the tournament action. Turbo Sports, the video presenting sponsor. Each team will play 3 group stage games, as this one is in towards the box. And brave goalkeeping there for Brewster, deciding to come out and cover that one up, as there was a bit of a question as to whether Campbell had played that back or not, but ultimately Brewster deciding she would take the risk. The box once again looking for Walsh, as that seems to be the focal point for Liverpool here in the early going, and trying to lob them all over into Walsh. This time they go to the far side. It gets down on for Lane. She tried to take a shot. Defender got a piece of it, and we'll have a corner kick. First corner of the game. We've already seen 2 goals go in. Can we see a third, perhaps from a set piece? Right-footed corner will come from the far side. Good bit of air underneath it, headed away by the defender. Not much further than the top of the box. Finally cleared away on a second attempt, but now Liverpool in control. The left foot from Crimmins trying to switch the point of attack. GPS will clear the line. It'll be a Liverpool throw. Ninth minute of play as GPS trying to clear their own defensive side. Team from Portland sends it back. Open in the midfield and calling for it was Wiltz Hyatt. She's able to get it, but not with much control, and now Liverpool has it. Right around the center circle, Crimmins up towards the top of the box, touched around the defender. Here comes Knifin. Had that tapped away, but it'll stay in possession. Strong left foot from Crimmins as she tried to switch fields. Instead, GPS with possession now as they look to build it up from the back. Hayward trying to swap off with Alvarez. Hayward on it now as she pushes up from her defensive midfield position. Coming all the way out is Blackmore. Puts it back up towards midfield. And then another slow build here from GPS. Now they send it up towards the forward line, and the goalkeeper comes out, Brewster, to smother it. Chasing it down was Ward. But she wasn't able to get a foot onto it towards the end. Given away at the midfield, and here comes Crimmins trying to slide one through. That was a bit ambitious. You had Knifen open, but the window was very small there. Now Hayward bringing it up the right-hand side with a bit of space now. She cuts it back through the middle, slides a pass through to Wiltz Hyatt, in towards the box, cleared away by the defender, over towards the touchline, and Hayward will let it go out for the throw. Up towards the corner flag, Hayward pulls the string and puts on the brakes. The two number 5s do battle there, and Vasquez is able to win. Griffin was dispossessed. GPS with an opportunity, long left-footed shot. Actually had a decent amount of power in behind it. Wiltz Hyatt, though, was a little bit too eager there to put that one towards goal. Might have been wiser to work the pass just a little bit longer. Knifen with the defender right on her back. Slide challenge, not able to come up with the ball. Morgan looking for space, sliding one up. Walsh, near side. And in between decisions there is Knifen and Griffin were both there, but the pass kind of split the difference. Tackle from behind, referee says it's all good. Almost stealing it a second time was Balt Manis. Going the other direction now is Ward. Pounding it back to the right is Morgan. Neither team in possession yet, and GPS will decide just to reset their defense, putting it out for a Liverpool throw. Numbers pushing forward in white. 1-1 your score. The second-minute goal for GPS was countered by a fifth-minute goal for Amanda Walsh. Hayward stomps on the ball and then sends it back to her defensive. Blasted up towards the midfield stripe, but doesn't quite get there. Settled down by Morgan towards the top of the box. Intercepted there by Maycumber. Now to the near side for Knifen. Liverpool in control towards the right-hand side. Knifen pushes towards the end line. Now she cuts it back. A little bit of space, and that dried up very quickly. Alvarez with Baltmanis right on her. She has to go all the way back to the defenders. Rios Nongales. Height. Liverpool at their midfield. Too tall there for Griffin. She's able to get it on the second attempt. And now here comes Crimmings. Griffin. Space in front, but again, the pass came too early. Knifen able to stale it away at the very end. Griffin tracking it down towards the corner, gets a bit of a shove there, still in possession, a second shove. Referee says it's all within the rules. Here comes Crimmings, a good cross, and Walsh was there, but the ball was just a bit too high for her to really get any power in behind it. Maddie Davenport and Lucy Hurst will be our first substitutes of the game as they will enter the game for Liverpool Elite. This one just inside the 18, and coming out to make the claim is Sarah Blackmore. Barheit. It's Hyatt. And now Hayward. Dispossessed. Back the other way. Lane. Just a bit too ambitious there. Cummings over the top. Settling it down, looking for Walsh. She's able to get a toe onto it, but no more. Now here's Knifen. To the left. And once again, too many defenders in front. Hayward slowing it up just a bit. You can see a little bit more confidence in possession from Hayward than some of her defensive teammates. But that's very typical of a wingback. They definitely tend to have more possession in general. Substitutes will be made. Looks like coming out of the game will be Kara Campbell and Madison Lane. So a defensive substitute and then a replacement in the midfield as well. Mark the first changes to the game. Davenport looking for an early touch, a bit too tall for her. The defender got to it first. Again, want to welcome you in here from Frisco, Texas. Todd Padula along with you. The sun is now up. It'll be behind us for the first couple games, and then it'll basically bake the entire complex. Scheduled to be in triple digits here throughout the week, which is why we have such early morning games, especially for those of you watching out in Oregon. Especially early out there. Interesting decision there from Blackmore to go for the kick instead of picking it up, as that one was played in by a Liverpool player. Had plenty of time there. First touch of the game there for Hurst as she heads it back to GPS. Trading possession back and forth here in the middle third. Trying to step on it is Straw. Stolen away by Knifen. Griffin looking up for Walsh, instead met by a defender. Lovely ball through here. Now a bit of space in front for Ward. Bit of a knock from behind. Ward putting the left foot to it, but she was going to ground. No foul there. Easy decision for the official. But good effort there by Ward, but ultimately the angle just kind of kept getting worse and worse, and she couldn't do too much with it. Another substitute about to check in for Liverpool Elite. Throwing her body in front of that one was Alvarez, but not coming up with it. Now played back. Blackmore struggling with it, but not enough Liverpool players up in support to make anything out of that. Bit of a miscue over there on the far side as Russell got her feet kind of crossed. That'll give it back to GPS Oregon. The sub coming into the game is going to be Sarah Kelly. She's going to replace Ashton Griffin. So Griffin put in some good work along the forward side of things. More of a wing position, as Liverpool somewhat playing a false three, if you would. The wing forwards are more of midfield, dropping and helping on defense when needed. And then the lone striker basically is Amanda Walsh. She's got the goal here for Liverpool. It tied things up in the 5th minute. '20th minute, so we're just about halfway done with this first half. 40-minute halves. No overtime here for the first 3 days, as we are group play, so you can't have draws. And once we get to Saturday's action, there must be winners. Walsh intercepts right at the midfield stripe. Now give and go passing. Sliding one up the left-hand side. Racing onto it is Davenport, getting her first touches into the game. Back for Walsh. Instead, all the way out for Kelly. She muscles the defender off, but couldn't come up with the ball. GPS trying to find some transition opportunities here. And another foul, this time drawn by Lucy Hurst as Alvarez threw the hip in. Players warming up for GPS as it looks like they're going to go for the line change. There's a good 4 or 5 players looking like they're going to put pennies on and come up towards the scorer's table. Hurst puts a right foot into it, too tall for Walsh, but didn't get all the way over to the far side for Kelly. Liverpool plays it back. Vasquez. Settled down by Kelly, but the defender poked it away. Here's Alvarez as she's making a home here on the left-hand side. Started the game over on the right. Kind of a fluid attacker right now. Roughly settled down by Ruhoff. Cheeky backheel to get around the defender. Slipping one up, intending it for Ward. Defender got a piece of it. And we will have our first subs of the game for GPS. They're indeed going to go for 5 different players coming on. It's Greta Streich, Hannah Terouani, Ami. My apologies if I messed that one up. Allison Alvarado, Natalie Flegger, and Avery Kyle. All fresh legs into the game for GPS Oregon, and they're also going to have another player check in. Sophia Sosa is going to come into the game, as well as Kendall Nelson for Liverpool. So those subs will happen at the next stoppage. GPS scored so early in the game, but once Liverpool kind of settled into things, as that one did just come over the touchline, it'll be a Liverpool throw, but once the home team, both on the scoreboard and in terms of location, got themselves into the game, they've really kind of settled in and taken this one over. So Nelson comes in, knife and goes out. She didn't necessarily look overly pleased by being substituted. But Nelson gets an early touch and just kind of rolled off the thigh and then right towards GPS. Stealing it back was Kelly, but only briefly. Laid back for Maycumber. Just too many white jerseys in front now, so GPS trying to stretch the field by building from the back. Hoping to draw some of the Liverpool defenders away and make the space not so compact. Coach Flynn's team more than happy to see this half play out in such a manner. Obviously they want to go for the win, as both teams do, but if you can keep numbers in behind the ball and have a good defensive formation, strike a counter attack, that's playing right into their hands. Won by Liverpool as the space dried up quickly, stolen by Alvarado, and now on for Sosa. To the far, Hayward. Cutting it back towards the middle. Stepped into with a crunching tackle, and that will lead to a dangerous free kick for GPS. This will be the first dangerous free kick coming up for GPS Oregon. We saw Liverpool with one from a similar distance, perhaps a little bit further out. They couldn't do too much with it. But can the team from Portland find an answer and regain the lead? '26th minute here. Free kick will come just to the right of center. Left foot chance going low. And nicely getting over as that one curled around the wall, and Brewster able to get her body in behind it. Liverpool trying to counter. Walsh stepped into the defender. Instead, now here's Kelly. Calling for it on the near side was Nelson, but the pass never came. Transition opportunity now, and that's well defended. This one is going to come over the near side touchline. Another sub about to check in for Liverpool. That will be Michelle Pack. Brought down by Nelson. Nicely sliding past the defender, and then not realizing that there was somebody coming to steal it away was Kelly. That was actually her number counterpart, Julie Maycumber. Up towards the forward line, offside though. Alvarado was in just a bit too early. So two number 11s about to check in. His GPS is also going to make a substitute at the next opportunity. Carly Pierce will enter the game. Walsh. Little lob pass. Trying to get it on for Nelson. She's able to put a forearm right into the back of the defender and able to get possession. One time away from Bultmanis. Kelly. Defender got a piece of it. That'll be a Liverpool throw. Subs will be made. Coming out of the game for Liverpool will be Sarah Kelly. And out for GPS is Madeline Coleno. Nelson. Once again, she's really doing a good job of getting around that first defender, sometimes even the second one. But it's just that final touch that pushes it just a bit too far. That's really kind of kept her from getting into open space. But that first touch, that initial play around the defender is just so well done. Referee says play on. GPS in possession, trying to build the attack over on the right-hand side. A ball up towards the touchline for Kyle. She'll put it back towards the box, and it took a couple deflections on the way through. Brewster with an easy catch in the end. But a little bit surprising that that cross made it all the way in. And then also the shot was able to come off of it. Little stab there by Pack. Got possession, but not for long. Over the top, trying to get it on for Alvarado. Just a defender right in her face. Here's Will Tyatt. Over towards the near-hand side for Strike. Now in towards the box. This is very similar to how that first goal came. And we'll have a goal kick, well defended. That seems to be the game plan, though, for GPS, as they like to work it along the wings and then try to cross it back towards the edge of the 6-yard area. Obviously worked to good effect, scoring the first goal very early in the game. And they have kind of stuck to that game plan, but Liverpool doing a better job of defending here in the later stages of the first half. Here comes Nelson. Once again, that last touch just a bit too far in front. Blackmore was there, but the defender would have let it alone. But perhaps some miscommunication between defender and goalkeeper. And that will lead to a Liverpool corner. So Madeline Hoffman will come into the game. She's going to replace Lily Vasquez. Blackmore couldn't quite get a good punch onto it. Here's a long try. Right at Blackmore. Nevertheless, not a bad idea there from Hurst to put that one towards goal. Strike calling for it here along the near side touchline. Wanted that return pass after she had laid it back for Maycumber. But Liverpool really got into defensive formation very early. Now an opportunity here. Pushing it over towards the right-hand side was Davenport. Looking for the cross. Here's Walsh putting it back across. But that one was just a bit too strong for Nelson to get in behind. Coach Tate getting on his girls a little bit for giving the ball away cheaply, as he put it. It's been a rather interesting first half. We had 2 goals scored within the first 5 minutes. Since then, the game has really settled down. It hasn't necessarily been a complete midfield battle. Both teams have been able to get into the attacking third, but the finishing opportunities have not really been there, and credit goes to the defenders for that. As even when things have kind of broken down, they have managed to recover very well. Avery Kyle will draw the foul. .33rd minute of play here. First half of game number 1. Pretty pleasant morning here. These girls really getting the benefit. Obviously, they don't necessarily like getting up as early as you have to for these early morning games, but if you play one of the afternoon games, you'll take the early mornings because it's going to get hot. Now an offensive opportunity here for Pack. Plenty of green out in front. Defender coming in from behind as Teherani Ami is closing down. Pass came just a bit too early. Liverpool trying to reclaim it. They do so at least briefly. Coming up the near-hand side, Hoffman looking for a bit of space, but that one will be too far behind Pack. Now here's a chance for Nelson. She puts it towards the top of the box. Davenport draws the foul. That was actually Nelson who went down right at the edge of the semicircle and towards the top of the box. So this shot will come from about, I'd say, 23 yards out, give or take. Just slightly to the right of center. And these are always difficult for goalkeepers because you basically have to set up the wall to try to cut off half of the net and guard the other half, but there's a lot to shoot at. Walsh gonna go for glory. And that is just barely over. A good solid strike there for Amanda Walsh. She put a good solid right foot through it, had the knee over the ball. Very straight shot, but just kept on the rise. Once again, very deliberate coming from the back. Oregon. Barheit up to Sosa, lobbing one into the attack. A little bit dangerous there as that one kind of slowed up once it got into the 18-yard area, but Brewster coming out at the very end to make the grab. Hoffman couldn't quite get there first, touched over her head by Terawani Ami. Both teams battle for it in the midfield. Coming away with it, Maycumber. Barheit. Again, just no space available. Solid defensive positioning right here by Liverpool. Although I'm sure Coach Tate would like his team to be a little bit more dynamic. Now they go down on the attack. Once again, good defending as Sosa was walled off. Almost intercepted as that was a dangerous pass from Strike. Once again, GPS trying to play it through that midfield circle, but they're kind of telegraphing their passes right now. And once again, credit to Liverpool's defensive formation, as there's really not a whole lot of space available. Coach Flynn wanted a foul. It was very close. Looked like, since it happened right in front of us, it looked like the leg was kind of swept out from underneath. But from the official's position, it's a different angle. So slightly understandable why he would have seen something different. Nice touch there from Kyle as she plays it just under the foot of the defender. Stolen right in the midfield as Liverpool tries to go the other way. Here's Pack. And now Nelson, left foot to Davenport. She steps over the ball, but didn't quite slow it up enough. And then a bit of a cheap foul given along the forward line. So there's going to be 1 minute of added time here. Ninth minute. We'll play roughly 41. Intercepted once again. Liverpool just right in there, but they play it right into the shoulder of the referee. Towards the near side touchline. More. She'll try to switch things up. Far wing. Liverpool once again intercepting. Here's Davenport. Touches it around the defender. Into the box, trying to put one across. And that ended up just going wide of the far post. Near post from Davenport's perspective. Final minute of regulation here in the first half. 1-1 your score. It has been that way since the 5th minute. Fourth official makes it official by putting the board up, signaling the 1 minute of extra time. All the way back for Blackmore. Nelson doing a good job of putting on some pressure, forcing the early pass. Just off the shoestrings of Pack, but it rolled over her foot. She wasn't able to make the steal. Well defended once again by Campbell. We go to the far wing again, trying to lob one back towards the top for Alvarado. Back and forth possession goes. It's like a hot potato right now. GPS able to find it in the end. Here comes GPS Oregon, trying to get it on the attack, and once again that final touch just a bit too strong there from Flegger. Nelson taken down from behind. That'll give a free kick in the midfield, but we will not take it. 40 minutes in the books. 1-1 is your score. It's been an entertaining first half. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll take a quick break. We'll let you have one as well. Go get some more coffee and rest up, as we will have the second half coming up for you here in just a moment on Turbo Sports production of the 2018 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. Back with more after this. welcome back. Just about set for second half action between Liverpool Elite and GPS Oregon in this 15 and under group girls action. Day number 1, 1-1 your score. Both goals came in the first 5 minutes. After that, we kind of settled in, and it was mainly played through the midfield. As I mentioned just before the half, both teams had some offensive opportunities, but the finishes just weren't quite there. Not necessarily in terms of the players actually doing anything wrong, but there just really weren't as many opportunities to get a shot off. They kind of worked the ball towards the end line, in towards the corner flags as well. And once they got to that space, the defenders had enough time to really get back and help. Looks like both teams have kind of returned mainly to their starting 11. Liverpool has definitely done that. Looks like GPS has as well. Maybe one or two players, and now another opportunity in the early going for GPS. What a start that would have been if they would have been able to put in a second goal in the same time frame as they scored the first one. Liverpool trying to counter. Walsh able to get it off the back of the defender. Has to kind of reset. Sends it up towards the right-hand side. Knifin looking for a bit of space. Left foot right in towards the area, but that's easily handled by the defender. Ward trying to get it up onto the attack, and that one's played out by Liverpool, so that'll give it to GPS, and they will have the throw-in on the far side. So both teams got a bit of rest during that half, and they came out with a lot of good energy here in the second half. GPS almost putting one in towards goal very similarly to how they did in the first half, working it up that left-hand side and looking for the cross. But the start of this half, it was met by the goalkeeper instead, and we do have a goalkeeping change. Ariana Rake is in goal now for Liverpool. So Coach Flynn going with the two goalkeepers system. Don't always see that worked, as this one deftly handled along the end line, and it ends up unfortunately going off of Ward at the very end. So that will be a goal kick. Loose ball, one touch there from Lane. Walsh hopping around as she got a bit of a knock there along the right ankle, it looks like. And she's trying to walk that one off. Coach Flynn wanting to make sure that his striker is all right. She's still limping a little bit up towards midfield. So hopefully she'll be able to shake that one off. GPS, nevertheless, on the attack. They have to reset things as they push it back towards midfield. Now trying to send it up towards the box, but once again, kind of in between options there. Two players in blue and then kind of splitting right in between. Almost mishandled, and Walsh, you can kind of see the effects of that potential ankle injury. Once again, don't want to speculate too much. But she's still gingerly walking around on that, and that took just enough speed off of Walsh that she wasn't able to track that one down. Now here comes GPS Oregon, pushing it towards the middle, towards the edge of the 6-yard area, around the goalkeeper. Oh, what a save by the defender! Coming over was Lucy Hurst, and saving a goal. Thought she had the net wide open, but Hurst at the last moment coming over and clearing it away. Now the long shot just over the top of Alvarez. She was looking to get just a flick onto that one, but Rake able to make the save. In transition here, waiting for it to settle down is Knifin. She'll able to get on possession as she carries towards the corner flag. Pulls it back as she looks for a bit of space in the midfield. Now sliding one up for Walsh. And once again, she just couldn't quite get that to settle down. This one will go into touch and it will be a goal kick. So both teams with some good energy here to start the second half, very much as they did the first half, throwing caution to the wind and getting some chances in on goal. You have to say the better of the attack so far here in the second frame has gone the way of GPS Oregon, as they really probably should have had a goal. Alvarez was able to get a good touch around the goalkeeper. Ariana Rake once again coming out, making that sliding challenge, but Alvarez was able to get around her, and it was only the defending of Lucy Hurst that was able to keep that one out. Hurst with the long throw. Lane. Off target there for Morgan. And we'll go all the way out towards the fencing. One your score. GPS Oregon scoring in the second minute of play. Liverpool with the answer. And apparently we had a illegal goal kick taken. Very rarely do you see that enforced. Midfield battle won by GPS. Alvarez cutting it back towards center, trying to slip that one through to Ruhoff. Back the other way. GPS able to make the steal on the far wing. Pierce. Good through ball. Onside, flag down. Goalkeeper out, and a lunging save made by Rake. Coming out to cut that angle off. She was able to make a knee save. In those kind of situations, you'll take it how you can get it. Doesn't have to be pretty. Yes, they've been able to find the gaps in the defense, which is something that you couldn't really say in the first half. But some good game management from Coach Tate. And good field awareness from his players as well. Lobbing one over the top. Blackmore out for it. Up through midfield. Once again, just too many white jerseys. Walsh putting on the pressure. Our height. Maycumber. Bit too strong there from Hayward. A strong step in. Coach Flynn thought it was a foul. So did some of the Liverpool faithful over on the far side. No whistle to be had. The attack, Ward, around one defender, putting it towards the penalty spot. This one rebounds back over towards the near hand side, still loose, and we're going to have a penalty kick. Not too much in the way of protest there. We're going to have a yellow card handed out, our first of the game, and Ariana Rake gets it. So the goalkeeper charged with the offense. And an opportunity now for GPS Oregon to take the lead from the spot. Looks like Thea Thraw is going to put a right foot into it. Head official making sure everybody is outside the 18-yard box. Seems to be satisfied with everybody's positioning. Thraw takes a couple steps up, right foot, score! No doubt about that one, as that one was upper 90. Absolutely no chance for any goalkeeper. I don't care if you're 6'6". That one was going to be impossible to save, just well placed there. And GPS now takes a 2-1 lead here in the 51st minute overall. First sub of the second half is going to go once again towards Liverpool. Coming out of the game will be Campbell. Entering is Lilia Vasquez. So Vasquez, one of the few first half starters that didn't re-enter the game right at the half. Now she's back into the game, trying to settle the defense down. Liverpool has been a little bit shakier here in the second half than they were in the first 40. But now they have to try to find themselves another goal as they trail by 1. They countered very early after giving up that second-minute goal in the first half. They scored about 3 minutes later, perhaps not even a full 3 minutes after. They will look to counter early here, but GPS trying to keep possession and keep that from happening. Perhaps get another goal. Settling it down now is Ruhoff. Lays it on back. A midfield tussle, and finally too much jersey grabbing going on as drawing the foul was Ava Cribbings. Looking over the top, both Walsh and Knifen were there, but once again, that has been kind of the story of this game for both teams, as those long, ambitious passes seem to be kind of splitting their options, neither going too much to the right or too much to the left onto their intended targets. Now, once again, a nice ball through. Coming onto it is Ruhoff. Goalkeeper out, flag was up, so it's all for naught. Walsh able to win it after it took a couple deflections on the way in. A chance now for Liverpool, but it goes away quickly as GPS able to steal it away on the far side. Dropped in now, Hurst able to pick up possession. Has to push the reset button after it was taken away ever so briefly by Ward. Once again, Ward right on the back of Hurst, and she's able to win the throw-in. So GPS with some good pressure. Team from Portland, Oregon, with a 2-1 lead. Really starting to build something. Liverpool kind of thrown off their game a little bit here as they're going to get a defensive foul, and that will allow them a chance to send it away, catch their breath. Maddie Davenport about to re-enter the game for Liverpool Elite. A chance now for Knifen. She's going to put a right foot into it. Looking for the deflection. Comes over here to the near side, but just not enough space. Lane was tracking it down, but she ran out of real estate. So the aforementioned Lane will come out of the game. In is Davenport. go short with the goal kick. 55th minute of play. Liverpool trying to make a steal. Working that triangle. GPS able to get it out of danger. Alvarez. Miscommunication there on the header. Up towards the top of the 18, and Blackmore has to come up and blast it away. Ruhoff. Well intended there, but not enough angle on that pass to get it over towards the attacker rushing in from the left-hand side. Here's Knifen. Davenport looking to cut in towards the 18. Now she pushes out towards the left. Defender met it there. It's going to be a goal kick. Again, 2-1 your score. Both teams scoring in the opening 5 minutes of the contest, and then a penalty kick by Thea Traw. To give GPS Oregon the 1-goal lead at 2-1. Game's slowing up just a bit here as we've had a few restarts. Up towards the top of the 18. Here's Knifen trying to get past the defender, but that's a bit too much as Macy Farheit is able to get in front and body up the forward. Too much in the challenge there from Hurst. Substitute about to come in now as Michelle Pack will come back in for Liverpool. Again, GPS getting in now the attack, in behind the defenders. Ward along the touchline, and that one grabbed by Rake. Apparently went over the end line before the goalkeeper made the grab, so it'll be a goal kick. And this fine morning here from Frisco, Texas. We'll take the decent temperatures while we can get them, because they're going to get up north of triple digits later on in the day. These girls won't have to worry about that here today, but perhaps later in the week, as most of these games and teams kind of rotate through the schedule. First sub of the half. Coming back into the game now is Ellie Wiltz-Hyatt. Taking a seat is Carly Pierce for GPS Oregon. A nice breeze here. Kind of swirling around, not really affecting the ball too much. Seems to be coming from the near side over towards the far side for the most part. '60th minute, 2-1 your score. Blackmore going to restart things from the free kick just outside of her own box. Walsh, not enough on that one to get it to Knifen. back into play off the throw-in. Slightly dangerous here, allowing Liverpool to put on some pressure. And Pack able to make the steal. Knifen couldn't get possession quickly enough to get that one in through. Walsh with an opportunity. The step over. Walsh again from straight away. Trying to slide that one through to Davenport, but well spotted by Hayward. A little bit more pacing going on along the sideline for Liverpool Elite. Once again into touch over on the far sideline. Similarly to the first half, this one kind of slowing up here in the middle stages of the second half. Obviously the urgency going to grow ever greater for Liverpool Elite as time begins to become the enemy. A long throw in over the top of everybody, and that one's going to go out for a goal kick, so possession wasted there. Numbers pushing forward in white, trying to put on some pressure here. Almost able to make the steal. GPS pretty accurate with their passing here in the second half. As I say that, they gave one away briefly. Back up through the midfield. Here's Pack trying to get it down onto the ground. A little bit of space as she continues on here to the left side. Davenport, Green in front. Defender closed it down nicely. Davenport around. Looking for the foul was Hayward, but not really sure what she thought happened. That one just seemed to be a 50-50 ball that she didn't come up with. Alvarez was trying to get around the player. And once again, well defended. There's a GPS player down on the ground, and that is Wiltz Hyatt. Davenport on the attack for Liverpool. Wiltz Hyatt in some distress back on her attacking side. Now Knifen into the box. She goes down. Referee quickly says there will be no foul. And we're going to have a stoppage as Wiltz Hyatt once again down on the ground about 15 yards north of the half line. And she tried to get up and then went down very quickly. Interesting to see that they're not allowing the coach onto the field yet. Obviously you don't want to have to do that if possible, because she would have to come out. And it seems like the official is saying that she will not need to come out. They are probably going to make a substitution anyway, as Liverpool going to take advantage of the break in action and come over here for a little bit of a breather and some water. The official not necessarily wanting that to continue, as some of the GPS players were trying to head over to their own sideline and get some liquid refreshment as well, but not having too much of that. Coming out of the game, though, is Thea Traw. She drew up the game with that penalty kick goal. Also coming out is Tessa Lucia Hayward. So interesting decision in that Ellie Wiltz Hyatt will not come out of the game. She seems to have shrugged off whatever was ailing her and doesn't seem to be walking around too gingerly, so hopefully she'll be able to keep on with this game. She's been a solid force in the midfield for GPS Oregon. Alvarez has been pushed out further here towards the right-hand side. She had been a little more central to start the half. Ambitious ball looking for Walsh up on top. Was easily handled there by Barheit. Now a chance here for Pack, sliding one through to Walsh, but just a bit too far behind, much to the chagrin of the bench over here for Liverpool Elite. A cheap foul given in the midfield will allow GPS Oregon to have the free kick and waste more time on this clock. There's obviously going to be some injury time added on to the end of this one, as we are in the 66th minute of play out of a total of 80 in regulation. Avery Kyle. Davenport stepped into that one a little too quickly. Kyle got around her. Nicely brought down by Vasquez. Davenport was surrounded. Vasquez lobs one over the top. Walsh going to get there. No, the goalkeeper got there beforehand. Looked like it had enough bite on it that it would have settled up for Walsh. Blackmore with solid goalkeeping coming out to clear the line. Blackmore again. She's had quite a bit of possession here in this game for a goalkeeper. But that's the way the game goes sometimes. GPS fortunate to have a goalkeeper that's comfortable handling the ball. Coming into the game now for GPS Oregon is Natalie Flegger. It's going to be a couple more substitutes as well. Sophia Sosa and Hannah Teruani Ami also back into the game. Pack couldn't come down with that one as it was lobbed way up into the air. Took a bit of a knock in from behind, but that was just enough to throw her off. Another throw-in opportunity here for Liverpool. Once again, time becoming a precious commodity. GPS not quite settling into defensive mode yet, but they have not looked to work that counterattack quite as much as they did earlier in the game. This one too long for Knifen. She's not going to be able to chase that one down. Another goal kick. Not too much urgency here from Sarah Blackmore, really no need. She's going to put it all the way over on the near side of the 6-yard area, actually stopping kind of in the middle. Giving herself a few more options. She's going to have to go long with it though. No words from the official in admonishment. There was a good bit of time wasted there from Blackmore. From GPS's perspective, they'll take every second they can off the clock. Davenport throws a forearm in, and another, and that one's going to draw the whistle. Kind of a foolish foul there from Davenport. Is there was really no chance that she was going to win that one. Avery Kyle still down a little bit, perhaps falling awkwardly. Seemed to be favoring her left leg there for a second as she left it outstretched.
I was just saying if you could just help me out with a couple steps back. Thanks, man. Not a big deal.
And once again, the reason you would almost suggest that fouling in that position on the field is kind of silly is obviously because you're allowing your opponent to take advantage of their own game plan, which is to take time off this clock. Davenport, obviously, her intention is to regain possession, but you kind of have to be a little bit smarter in that situation, as GPS really working possession very well here in the last few minutes to really keep Liverpool away from any kind of counterattacking opportunity. Now with space in front, Ward trying to get around the defender into the 18-yard box. Ward able to touch it around. She's actually going to go for the cross instead, and then the shot came in, and Will Tyatt's opportunity was blocked and cleared well away from target. Interesting decision there from Ward, as she probably had a decent angle to try to tuck that one around Rake. Instead, put it across the face of goal, hoping that one of her teammates would have more net in front of her. But ultimately, the defenders did a good job of getting back. And visibly frustrated is Holly Ward, as she is substituted out, probably knowing that she could have put this game to bed if she had taken a shot instead of the pass. She will be replaced by Allison Alvarado. So Alvarado will take the main striker position, kind of in that central role. She comes all the way back to pick it up from the throw-in, and now they try to work it up the left-hand side. Here's Terawani Ami. No space available. She has to drop it back. Still over on the left side. Terawani Ami trying to chase this one down, but it will go over the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for Liverpool. Rake puts it back into play, but not in possession of her teammates. Blasted back up the other direction by Ella Morgan. Trying to get over towards it was Caroline Knifen. Into touch. Liverpool still with possession. Just a little over 8 minutes left to go here in regulation. You have to figure that it'd be at least 1 or 2 minutes of extra time added on to this one for the injuries that we've had. Nothing major so far. Nobody's really had to come out of the game due to injury. That's always good to see, especially on these days where the temperatures can have such an effect on the outcome. But a very pleasant morning overall. The calm before the storm as to what promises to be a very warm day. In over the top, stepping in front was Barheit. And then Walsh had her feet taken out from underneath her as the ball was no longer there. Alvarez to Davenport. Getting away from it. Back the other way. Davenport going to get to it. She shrugs off the challenge. Here comes Pack. Pack back onto the right foot. Space drying up in the early morning sun. It's a good pressure there from Michelle Pack, but I think it was that last touch to put it back onto the right foot. If she could have kept it on the left and maybe created a chance from that, that would have been more advantageous for Liverpool, but good defending overall. Now they'll try it up the far-hand side. Knifen gonna go for goal, and that one just scrapes across the face and ultimately out. Now Kendall Nelson will come into the game. She is going to replace Davenport. Nelson, perhaps the kind of player that you want in right now. In the first half, she was very good in close quarters, able to get around one, sometimes two defenders. And then ultimately the only negative thing that you could say about her in those first 40 minutes is sometimes the last touch that she would have would just push it a bit too far in front, allowing the defenders to get a piece of that one. Very close to a handball there. That drew some of the coaches off the bench for Liverpool. Ultimately, they will have possession off the throw. We'll do it all over again as it goes back on the far side. Time ticking away here in this opening match of day number 1. A guaranteed 3 days here for every team. Bit too eager there from Michelle Pack. She tried a spinning shot with the left foot. Couldn't quite get the shoelaces in behind it. Pack got the head onto it, but it ended up going the wrong direction for her perspective. Pack with a second opportunity. Nelson up the near hand side. Defender closing her down as that was Avery Kyle. Kyle takes her down. Foul given. So a potential dangerous free kick here for Liverpool. Avery Kyle a bit too strong there on that opportunity as she was in good defensive position. Easy there for Blackmore as that one was always curling towards the goalkeeper. Lucy Hurst gets a bit of a push from behind, draws the foul. And how big was that stop from Hurst in the outcome of this one? Right now, it doesn't look like too much, but you have to figure if things play out the way that they did, even if that goal scored, then all of a sudden it's a 3-1 game instead of a 2-1 game. So right now, Hurst's goal line clearance is the difference in this one in terms of even giving Liverpool a chance. Coach Flynn upset there with his player. As Baltmanis put that one right on goal instead of going wide with it. Blackmore using every bit of the time allotted to her by the official before putting that one back into play. GPS trying to keep possession here. Every second while they're in control is a second that Liverpool does not have an opportunity to tie this one up. Time ticking away. Less than 3 minutes to go in regulation. And there's a foul given just outside of the 18. Once again drawn by Wiltz Hyatt. So this will be an interesting angle as the wall setting up right on the 18-yard box, but they will have to take a few steps inside. Looks like Wiltz Hyatt is going to take the free kick. So from this angle, you would almost think she would try to go for the far post. She is going to go towards goal, takes a deflection on the way through, they score! No goal! No goal. The flag went up. Liverpool given a lifeline. It looked like GPS had put this one to bed, but the offside call negates that one, as that one took a touch on the way through, and perhaps that is what ended up drawing everybody off. Here's Wiltz Hyatt pushing around the defender towards the end line. Corner kick. We're now in the 80th minute. So injury time is imminent. For both teams, it's a question of how much. The low corner kick handled there by Baltmanis. She's able to put a right foot into it and get it out. Trying to lob one up towards Walsh. That one is instead met by Kyle. Walsh trying to make the steal, but Kyle was right there. Looks like we're going to have 3 minutes of injury time added on to this one. So still time left on the clock for Liverpool. GPS, it's going to be a long 3 minutes for them. They lead by 1 goal. Right now, the difference in this one is a Thea Traw penalty kick. Once again, Blackmore taking her sweet time to put this one back in. Punts it up towards midfield. A flick there. Wiltz Hyatt getting it over towards the far side. Terulani Ami dispossessed. Chance for Liverpool to push on to the attack, but too many blue jerseys in defense. Hurst sees that one roll out. First minute of injury time. Knifin trying to muscle off the player. Chance here for Liverpool as they get in towards the end line. That one doesn't take a fortuitous deflection. It will go out over on the far side. Waiting for a ball over on the far side. Finally, they get one from the ball person over there. Fourth official saying this time will be added on after some complaints from the Liverpool bench. Very understandable from their perspective. Obviously, GPS hoping that the time would benefit them as they lead by a goal, trying to pick up 3 points and head towards the top of the group. Frustration starting to creep in now for Liverpool as Balt Manis, a little demonstrative over on the far sideline. The throw-in doesn't go her way. Here's Hurst, laying it into the midfield and having to come back to pick that one as there was miscommunication. Morgan able to get to it. Here's Nelson. She's dispossessed as it rolls over towards the near side touchline. Out towards the edge of the 18. Trying to spin. Crimmings laid it back across. And that one will once again split the difference. Morgan sliding in, winning it back. And now it's cleared away off the tent right over to our left-hand side. And that is it. 80 minutes have been played. The referee said that was it. So GPS Oregon able to take advantage of a second half penalty kick and get the 3 points here on day number 1. A very good start for both teams. A rough way to finish with it decided by a penalty kick, but that's how the game is played. And GPS will take all 3 points, and they will be happy to have it. So that'll do it for our coverage on this game. We hope you'd enjoyed this matchup brought to you by Turbo Sports Group. I'm Todd Panula. For everybody here, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.